Welcome to Global Buzz, where we discuss the latest global developments. In today's video, we will discuss about the recent NATO's massive military exercise called Steadfast Defender 2024. NATO, or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is a military alliance of 30 countries that was formed in 1949 to counter the Soviet threat. Russia, the successor of the Soviet Union, has long viewed NATO as a hostile and expansionist force, especially after the alliance admitted former Soviet republics and Warsaw Pact members in the 1990s and 2000s. The relations between NATO and Russia have deteriorated significantly in recent years and could possibly lead to war. What is Steadfast Defender 2024, you may ask? Well, it is NATO's largest and most ambitious military maneuver since the end of the Cold War, involving around 90,000 troops from 31 countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Poland, and Sweden. The exercise will last for 4 months, from January to May, and will take place in several locations across Europe, from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea, and from Norway to Romania. The main purpose of Steadfast Defender 2024 is to demonstrate NATO's ability to defend its territory and allies from any potential attack by a near-peer adversary, which is a diplomatic way of saying Russia. The exercise will test NATO's readiness, interoperability, and resilience in a simulated conflict scenario where NATO forces will have to respond to a sudden and large-scale invasion of one of its members by a hostile power. Why is NATO doing this, you may wonder? Well, the answer is simple: because of Russia. NATO considers Russia as the most significant and direct threat to its security, especially after Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014, its intervention in Syria in 2015, and its ongoing war with Ukraine since 2022. NATO accuses Russia of violating international law, undermining regional stability, and challenging the rules-based order that has kept the peace in Europe for decades. Russia, on the other hand, sees NATO as an aggressive and expansionist alliance that encircles and provokes it with its military presence and activities near its borders. Russia claims that NATO has broken its promises not to enlarge or deploy troops and weapons in Eastern Europe after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Russia also fears that NATO may eventually admit Ukraine and Georgia as members, which would pose a serious threat to its national security and interests. The tension between NATO and Russia has reached a new high in recent weeks, as both sides have engaged in a series of tit-for-tat actions that have escalated the diplomatic and military confrontation. For example, on January 10th, NATO expelled 8 Russian diplomats accused of spying, which prompted Russia to suspend its permanent mission to NATO 2 days later. On January 14th, the UK announced that it would send 20,000 troops to join Steadfast Defender 2024, which was followed by a warning from Russia that it would take adequate measures to counter any threat. On January 16th, Ukraine claimed that it had shot down 2 Russian planes with a Patriot missile system, which was denied by Russia. And on January 18th, NATO officially launched Steadfast Defender 2024, which was condemned by Russia as a provocative and dangerous exercise. So, what are the implications and consequences of Steadfast Defender 2024 for the future of NATO-Russia relations and the security of Europe? Well, there are different opinions and perspectives on this question, depending on who you ask. Some analysts and experts argue that Steadfast Defender 2024 is a necessary and justified response by NATO to deter Russia from further aggression and to reassure its allies and partners of its commitment and solidarity. They believe that the exercise will enhance NATO's credibility, cohesion, and capability, and will send a clear and strong message to Russia that any attack on one NATO member will be met with a collective and decisive response by all. Other analysts and experts, however, warn that Steadfast Defender 2024 is a risky and counterproductive move by NATO that will only increase the tension and mistrust between the two sides and could potentially trigger a miscalculation or an accident that could escalate into a full-scale war. They argue that the exercise will provoke Russia to take more aggressive and defensive actions, such as deploying more troops and weapons near NATO's borders, conducting its own military exercises, and supporting its allies and proxies in the region. They also suggest that the exercise will undermine the prospects of dialogue and cooperation between NATO and Russia on common challenges and issues such as terrorism, cyber attacks, climate change, and arms control. So, what do you think? Is Steadfast Defender 2024 a good or a bad idea? Do you support or oppose NATO's exercise? And what do you think will happen next between NATO and Russia? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below.
For more news like this across the globe, please subscribe to our channel, like and share this video. Thank you.